All right, so this is the Odyssey or Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. I'm just now seeing it. I wanted to see it when it first came out. I didn't get the chance to. I had personal stuff going on. Yeah, just a lot going on in my life. But finally got to see it. There was a lot of controversy around this, controversy that was like obnoxious. People were upset about the casting, right? The movie was a bit too diverse for a good amount of people and things like that. That stuff didn't affect me at all. It's Christopher Nolan. I love Christopher Nolan's movies. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to see this no matter what. So in this, we have Odysseus, played by Matt Damon. He was a general in the Trojan War. He's the king of Ithaca. And he's actually the person who came up with the plan to use the Trojan horse, which is what won the war. The war lasted 10 years. And it's like, okay, it's time to get back, back to Ithaca. But the journey to get back with his men is really difficult, involving pissing off Poseidon, a Cyclops, a bunch of different things. And a lot of his men end up dead on the way. While he's trying to make his way home, right, and it's been years, even after the 10 years of the war, Penelope, played by Anne Hathaway, that's his wife, and Telemachus, played by Tom Holland, that's his son. They are having to deal with suitors that have come to their home and mistreated their servants, drank their wine, things like that. The suitors are basically just waiting around for her to uh, accept that Odysseus isn't coming back, that Odysseus is probably dead, and to pick one of them to marry. And so they're like desperately holding out hope that that doesn't happen and that Odysseus actually comes home. So I didn't know how it was going to end up on this movie. I've seen some people say that it's messy and things like that. Right? Obviously, with the controversy, there were people who were already not going to like this movie as soon as they saw it because they didn't want to take the L. um, but I was like, okay, let's see what this is like. I'll probably end up liking it, and I loved this movie. Loved it. Loved every second of it. I enjoyed every bit of it. People saying it's messy. I didn't think it was messy at all. Right? Like the movie jumps around. I thought Oppenheimer was a bit messy, but this movie with it jumping around, to the war and to Ithaca and things like that, flashbacks, things like that. It all felt purposeful. Like it felt like it had narrative structure to it. It had narrative flow to it, even though it was, jumping around so much. Like everything that's shown felt like he wanted to show it at that time. Like it all really worked narratively for me. All the performances are great, including the people that people were upset about. Even I was like, man, Travis Scott, I don't know about that. He's in the beginning and the end. That's it. He's barely in it. I think Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway. I think they really stand out here. The movie does a good job of really showing Telemachus and Penelope how much they long for him to come back. Right, like it is really like a desperate thing for them, just hoping that he'll come back, even though it seems like he's not going to. Right, you really feel that. You really get invested in that stuff in Ithaca. And then when it comes to Odysseus, I think he's a really well done, like fleshed out character. And you get an idea for, his leadership, right? His intelligence, right? He really feels special. You really feel his guilt around the way the war ended and also around, this journey back home that's seems seemingly maybe impossible. Right? And how many of his men have just died. Also, a standout here is Robert Pattinson as Antinous. This guy, he is such a fucking asshole. Like he's like the main like antagonistic force when it comes to like the suitors. And this dude is such an asshole, right? A complete coward. The whole thing with him and Sinon, right? Like this dude is just so hateable. But he's so entertaining. He is so smug and everything. Like he was really fun to watch, even though I absolutely hated him and was rooting for him to finally get his comeuppance, right? Like for him to get what he deserved. The cinematography, the production, the score, it's all great. Like the costume design, people are upset about the costume design not being historically accurate. I don't care, right? Like the armor looks great, especially that armor with the spine on it. That shit looks cool, man. I don't care if it's historically accurate. But all these things come together to make this movie feel epic, right? Like I was invested the whole time, right? I felt like I was on the journey with them trying to get back to Ithaca, right? Like it's just it's so well done. Like they'll like for example the Cyclops, like they'll go into the cave and you just feel that tension. It's like, okay, something's about to happen. Something's about to go wrong. And the Cyclops comes in eating people. The Cyclops looks amazing. Eating his men and body parts falling out of its mouth and everything, and it's legitimately scary, right? There's a point where the Cyclops is screaming, and it was chilling. Like I feel like I'm there with them, right? I mean, this movie turns into a horror movie a couple times, like with the Cyclops stuff and the stuff with Cersei, and it's just like it's so well done, and it really does feel like this long, maybe impossible journey that like it feels like you're just as exhausted as the characters going on it. As far as negatives, I do think the movie's a little too long. Like I expect this movie to be long. It's this epic and things like that. But there were definitely points in the movie where I was like, this feels like it's drawn out to be longer than it needs to be. Right. It feels like this scene doesn't need to be this long. Right. Like there were definitely parts like that where I was like, you know, you could cut this down a little bit. Like by the end of it, it really did feel like the movie had been almost 3 hours. It's like I really felt the runtime, even enjoying every part of it. I was still like, yeah, this feels like it could have been at least a little bit shorter. That's it. I love this movie, like I said, and it's probably one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies. Now I don't want to say too much because I just seen it and give it some more time and some more viewings. But I feel like this is my one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies. Definitely one of my favorite movies of the year. One of the best movies I've seen this year. And so I'm giving it beyond awesome. I mean, I'm sure it's obvious I was going to give this my highest rating. Um, yeah, let the culture war shit go. And while it's still in the theaters, go see it if you haven't already. And yeah, that is the Odyssey, or Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. And we're done.